Oh, there we go. Got oh yeah. I assume that's a soda.
Ginger ale.
Yeah, perfect. How's it going, my friend?
It's going pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited. Christmas is come and gone, and now it's time to start thinking about 2025.
That is true. Yeah. What's your big plans for 2025?
Well, that's the scary part because I did qualify for the Arnold
Mm.
at Washington State, and I'm kind of weighing my options. Um, we got this big house thing coming up in April. I
Oh,
want to do
for
some events before
WSA?
that. What's that?
The WSA thing you're talking about?
Yeah, I got that coming up in April. We'll be filming in 2 weeks, but I want to do an event before that. But I've gotten word that if I were to get hurt, then that could ruin production. But I don't want to be sidelined just training, and I'm gonna be coming out like game busters. There's a North America Championships in Vegas I want to do. I'm thinking about
Yep.
doing.
Yeah, I'll be
So,
there at that one. I'm running brackets at that one, I believe.
oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's some
Yeah.
stuff I want to do, so I just got to weigh my options and see what goes on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, let's see here. How do we start this off here? I think I think the best thing to do for this would be to uh well, you yourself, you never saw any of my old shows, did you?
No.
No. So, let me just give a brief rundown of what we used to do, and then you can probably ask questions and other people can ask questions. And we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
So, along about what was it, 3 4 years ago, maybe longer. Uncle John and myself started talking. He had a show for a long time, and the big thing him was trying to get more newer people, stuff like that, onto the show. And one of the big things to get new people on the show that I thought would work would be to teach people over web chat, stuff like this, group chat kind of thing, show
Yeah.
videos, describe matches, break down videos, break down training, all the things that people, I would say, typically pay for from other people, but do it in a more one-on-one session, kind of breaking people down, using the video feeds that they send us, wins, losses, all that kind of stuff, and then kind of slow mo things. We can bring it into the chat and slow mo it down, and all that kind of good stuff. Um, I will say that in the beginning, it started off fairly slow, but once it got traction, we started getting a lot of people. I mean, we were having 20, 30 people message us a month trying to get on the show to be able to get their stuff analyzed, get their stuff, pushed onto the show. And we had to start being kind of choosy on who we picked and like what videos we sent out and stuff. So,
Right.
um, would love to get it back to that aspect, actually. But it was good because it lets people see things that they normally don't get from practices. Um, and a lot of times, I feel like a lot of people can't break down things in a particular way that I am really good at. And like even you and I have met multiple times where we've been at tournaments and stuff together, and I can move the table and show you different things and whatnot, even on the table. But in particularly, I think I'm really good when it comes to breaking it down on video.
Yes.
Simply because that's how I learned how to arm wrestle. I used to I used to go in and watch every video I could possibly find of everyone and really analyze elbow movements, shoulder movements, hand movements, fingers, the whole 9 yards, to where I could, really break someone down, particularly all the way to the minute pressures and all that stuff. So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to bring someone on. We want to show their videos, and we're going to be blatantly obvious and blatantly uh, blunt, I guess is the correct word. So I want you to not take offense to what we say or what I say, but note that I'm trying to be as serious as possible and to make you a better person and a better arm wrestler.
Totally agree. And how are you doing, Luke Polster? He's saying hello. Yeah, I do like that because of the fact that if we want to get better, not everyone's perfect, and I think the more we do that, just be open to ideas, open to options. Um, I know I still got flaws. I'm trying, and this is year number 15 for me, so I got things I got to iron out. So, hey, everyone out there, have an open mind.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, uh, the way to get on the show, I have had a couple of people already message me. Um, I've been looking for particular people that have videos that are wins, videos that are losses. Um, I'd like to see all of that stuff. It's really difficult to do if we don't have all of it. So we need to see both sides. No one likes to show losses, but we have to do it. Uh, and then the big thing is email me, Facebook message, whatever. Let me know you're interested, and then provide those, and then we'll schedule a time. It takes me a little bit to kind of get them queued up and whatnot in the background, so we can, because I like to do illustrations over them sometimes too. So I'll
Right.
draw on the video and whatnot. But yeah, let's as soon as I can get a couple people together, we'll do some breakdowns. We'll do some in depth stuff, and go from there. But that's really what this is all about: making guys better, um, making the average person learn something from doing all this stuff. So yeah,
Sounds
that's
good.
where we're at. Unfortunately, we didn't really have too many people for this first one, other than a couple that just said they'd be interested and they never sent me anything. So probably because they didn't know what to do or never saw the original shows. Um, but yeah, we need to get those people. If you are interested, like I said, just message me, message Jody, whoever. We'll get on and we'll talk and we'll do some stuff. Maybe even next week or the week after we can get on and do the first one with an actual person. And yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
No, I love it. I think, and saying so, being having an open mind, you know, there are some people who are very sensitive. I understand, you know, a lot of us like to build our brand. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot of highlights or stuff on your Instagram page or maybe a YouTube channel or Facebook or whatever, highlighting your wins, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
no, for this show, we got to see the good and the bad and the ugly, so that way we can make sure we can limit all that. So that way it's just all good. You can be a better person. So
Yeah. See, Luke prefers me to pick him apart in person. There you go.
there
Yeah.
you go. How you doing, Terry? Terry's in the house. Good job. He was at Washington State, by the way. So
Oh,
um,
yeah.
never got that photo, Terry. So we'll have to get that. So, but yeah. And I like how you break things down, especially after a tournament. The event's done. You get the table out. We're doing, after pulling, and then you pull a couple guys. I remember last summer at my event, and you had came to, and you pulled some people aside and go, "Hey, let's go ahead and, show you this and show you that." And you'd be surprised how many people were surrounding that table, and they all were listening. So
Yeah.
hey, I like that.
Yeah. No, that's. I feel like a lot of people don't get that. They get some portions of that, or maybe the teams that they train with don't actually have that ability. Maybe they just want to pull on you and hurt on you. And there's certain ways to practice properly too. In my opinion,
Yeah,
there's goods and bads to both of like pulling hard versus pulling for a purpose. So I think a lot of that's part of this too, learning to train correctly rather
right.
than train just, going off the deep end type of thing.
There you go. Billy
So
Ortega's in the house in the chat. What's up, buddy? So here, how about this, Corey? Pick me apart, for example, because I know one of my flaws is I get opened out a lot. I usually camp out here. I'm
yeah.
strong here. I've always ended up getting here, and I need to fix between here and here, and it stops here. I gotta whatever's in between. I gotta fix this. Whatever's going
Yeah.
on here, I gotta fix that. So for
Yeah, and
me,
you're a reverse hit too. So
yeah,
you like to float and push them away and then pop away from that.
right,
So yeah, the well, without doing videos or anything, because obviously we don't have too many video for you at the moment. But
yeah,
without doing videos, your biggest thing to me has always been your ability to not lock your arm at a 90. So like in the 90 section, so I'm
hmm,
here. Your lock is way out here because the way the tendon is built up down here.
right.
Um, so working out properly in a way that forces your arm to hold pressure at that position will make that better.
Talking
Um,
about holding it here like a static hold type deal.
Statics, lifting from that spot, starting off in there as a heavy curl or a heavy whatever, hammer curl, whatever,
Right,
starting in the position you want the tendon to build up, and then doing the reverse of that where it extends and you're holding it. And once it locks out there, that's when you try to put pressure into it hard to hold that position.
right.
So um, it's probably because you do a lot more full range stuff than most people, and
I do.
typically I don't. When I'm trying to get someone to build a lock like you're describing, you don't want to do full range because you're extending the tendon there. We want to
Right.
build that motion here so it stops 50-50. So yeah, I would say for you, it's eliminate or slow down the full range stuff,
Hmm.
increase the pressure when it's tighter, and make sure that you're always going to about that 90 to 110 range and don't go past it. Make your arm hold heavy stuff right there.
Okay.
And you'll notice that it's just slowly starts to build that tendon up and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And
Right.
then you won't have to do your whole float away from them type of thing as much. You'll be able to control the pressure here rather than being out when you're what you like to be.
And for me, the reason why I kind of do that reverse is just you know I
It
usually
probably
kind of
feels the lock happens when you get
yeah,
out to here. You feel the lock happen faster.
I feel it here, but also depending on my opponent,
Hmm.
because everyone pulls different. More oftentimes than not, if I will give up side to gain a cup, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
it's more like I'm starting here. When I do that reverse, it's more I'll give up the side pressure here to gain that
Yep.
out here,
Yeah. And it
But
allows for that elbow to move and lock into your position. And if you get underneath the table fast enough, you get into your lock and you get your hand bent at the same time. And it
mhm,
allows for both to happen. Yeah.
yes,
No, and that works great. But when someone can stop your arm, that's when, that's one of those things that if you had the lock built up, you wouldn't have to float out as hard. You could start from the center and then push into it and just get here without going all the way open up.
right.
Be a little bit stronger, a little bit faster.
And just knowing to use all 7x7, of the elbow pad. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if you want to go back to the match with James Wall, where I had to, if you saw that match, I was sliding forward, came back, went to
Yeah.
the side, and I was trying to use every inch because anywhere I went, James blocked it, right?
Yeah.
I had the angle, tried to go into a press. I thought I had enough pressure here to where I would keep that and come up, but it wasn't going. Once I tried to commit here, it wasn't going anywhere. So then I kind of snapped back out here like this to try to get more of his hand out here. Reason why I
Hmm.
did this is to get him to do that.
Yeah.
And I felt like, if I was able to keep his wrist flat, because if his wrist went anywhere this way, I was pretty much done for him.
Yeah. He's
So
strong. He's very strong.
yeah. So for me, trying to keep it, if worst case scenario, keep his wrist straight. But if I was able to get it going this way, then I have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can pull this up. I don't know why my orientation got stuck in vertical. It's weird. Oh, I got another video queued. This is Frank. Whoops. Well,
Is he watching?
I don't know. But my orientation's stuck vertical. I don't know how to switch it back.
Hmm.
I have to figure it out for next time. But um, Let me see if I can find your video while we're sitting here. Let me go back here. There we go.
If you just punch up Jody Williams with James Wall, I'm sure it'll pop up.
Was that on YouTube?
I
Or is
put
it
that on my
something else?
channel, so it should pop up.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can find it real fast. But yeah, no, that's the concept. That's the whole idea here is I'm not looking for someone who doesn't want to be broken down,
Right.
or whatever, her only wins or whatever else is. So I'm looking for guys who actually want to learn something.
Yeah, it'll be under my shorts if you go to my actual YouTube channel. It'll be But
Yeah, it's probably there it is. Whoa. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out here.
and it's weird because I'm at the table and I feel like I'm tight, but then you watch the video and the replay, and I'm like this.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like going, I don't see that. So it's always interesting to see from a different point of view. Yeah.
This is the best I can get with this video at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know why this is stuck in vertical. It's so weird.
Actually, that was on my phone. I just took a video from the tournament and then just used my phone to record that. And I had it like, vertical. I didn't have it like horizontal. So
Yeah. See, even like your start, you're still, in my opinion, you're a little bit far open. Like you're too out here.
Right.
But you like to float that, and you right here. I think you'd be a little bit better off if your hand was turned up a little bit more, and you palm them like you're saying. You palm them so you're already in the pronation.
You're talking about lock my pronator on the setup.
Yeah.
Right.
You palm him this way and push into his hand and pronate to get that turn already on the start. Because right now you're having to do the whole whip thing we've talked about, where you whip out and around.
Right.
See, that time you didn't even really whip at all. That time you actually just went straight sideways into his hand, and he cupped your hand in, and he's trying to break over this way with you, and you just stayed in there with it. And then you can break his hand over, which is great. That's actually looked good.
I felt, no disrespect to James, but I felt on the setup that, how when you grip up somebody, you feel like, oh, okay, your hand might be stronger than them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I kind of just went straight, side pressure. And I was trying to, take his wrist as I was going to the pad. But he stopped it because that's how strong he is.
Yeah, look on the start here. Let me try. I can't really slow-mo this for some reason, but
right.
Look on the start how you go up pressure real fast. You come up into it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to get. But you actually come up for a half second and then come over, which is good. The only thing that could have been bad right here is if James actually turned into like supinate harder and not just do a cupping of his hand. He probably could have got a little bit better grip on you. But then he just tried to cup you as hard as he could. And now he's just got immense amounts of side pressure going.
Yeah. So I couldn't finish here. So I might have panicked and tried to come back up. And I'm hearing, which is funny because 6, 7 rows back, I can hear my wife yelling, stay there, don't stand up. And, I'm thinking if I stand up, I can reload. But if I stand up too much, which I did, he can kind of take over and get, the advantage on his side.
So there's 2 ways to beat a flop press. One is to not do this. No, I'm just kidding. The number one way to get to beat a flop press is basically what's happening right now without happening is you have to turn the palm up to the sky. So you got to do like this. Their hand has to be like that.
Got it.
If you notice the Levon match with Jerry's hand always ended up with his palm straight up to the sky because they have no pressure like this. They'll have pressure with their hand bent back this way, and they'll have pressure with their hand in here where they can push with a hammer. But they never have pressure when their hand goes up into the palm like that. So when you're here, and you're pushing sideways into his palm, you should be switching to here, almost to like a high hookish move, and his
Right.
palm will come underneath your hand, and then you would easily walk through his arms. Because like right there, you almost got in trouble. You went into it right here where he
Yeah.
almost got a hook going, and right there you should have came up and over his hand to this instead of going back out in the same spot.
Right.
See,
Okay.
you went back because he can hold that. That's just there's no pressure there. So you turn, yeah. When he comes there, you should turn your hand right up into the palm up position, and
Right.
you're almost there. There, you're almost getting it like that. Pretty
At this
close.
point,
Pretty. Oh, that
yeah.
is
See, I
bad.
tried
Don't
to
do
go in for a press.
that.
It just
Yeah,
stood there.
don't.
It was like, okay.
Yep.
See
Yeah,
those
and that just
surges?
the surges are fine, but you gotta surge and hit to the palm up position because right there you're really not doing anything but maxing it. Now he's opening himself up there, but
Well, in that last surge, if you saw my elbow slide to the front of the pad, I got more height and then I went straight side pressure. So,
yeah, I think you could have probably won this easier if you would have got his palm to the sky faster.
right.
Like right here, rotate your hand to here, and you win that match without trying. Like you
Gotcha.
just walk right through it. So this positioning right here was his fingers are out towards you, his palm needs to come up, your hand needs to come up and over, and you
Right.
will come right through his arm.
And is
And
that
you
like a harder pronation to where to make his palm go up like that?
well, it's like right now you're getting overconfident and pulling backwards against him. So like right now you're just hitting back through the top part of your hand right here,
Right.
and you're feeling like there's no way he can beat you, which he's really just holding with his shoulder at this point. There's nothing there to do anything. So what you have to do is convince yourself to stop pulling through here at the top of your hand and start rotating the wrist over, and it will come to you way faster. But
Gotcha.
that's more of a mental thing than anything. You got to let it go to get more, and you'd win easier.
That's one of those things that what's that saying? Look stupid in practice, so you don't look stupid in a tournament. So that's
Yeah.
something where I gotta just, it's that muscle memory.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Beating limp wrist pressers and all that kind of stuff like this and that motion is something that a lot of people struggle with.
Right.
But yeah, that's a really good example, actually. I mean, other
But
than the
if I were to
videos.
stay there, because I mean, you hear, but I'm focused on the match. So you hear voices, but you don't know where it's coming from. And I can tell my wife's voice from anybody else. But
Right.
the thing is, though, if I search and I catch him here and I sit there and wait on him, like you said, he's just holding it with his shoulder.
Yeah.
But
He
I'm
would
trying
have
to
burned you out. He would have burned you out eventually if you would have not repositioned.
right. And that's where, and I felt it. So I started to feel, you feel that tingling, like, okay, I'm getting burnt out. And that's when I start sliding my elbow to create a different angle.
Yeah. And you could tell, like, when you hit into that press or into push into his shoulder, he
Yeah.
didn't feel nothing. He was like, nope. But then right here, you come back to the back pressure, and he's clamped down as hard as he can. He's trying to rotate in.
Right.
Yeah, right. And see how you right there, you're starting to get the palm up. Right there is almost palm up.
Right.
That's almost perfect right there. But yeah, you could tell he almost had you. That
When
was a
I
good
didn't
match though.
feel it go, my muscle memory reverts back to my, back pressure and trying to, take his hand again.
Right. Yeah, right there you start to get full palm. That was
Right.
when you got it right there.
And that's
That was good.
something, just going through the motions at practice, table time and just kind of going, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not going to always pull a presser because honestly, James Wall's a hook puller.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
happened to make him a presser because on the go, I just went, straight to the side, with my elbow to the front of the pad. It went
Yep.
straight side.
Yeah, you could see it on the beginning of this match. Whoops. Be better if this thing was downloaded. All
Yeah,
right.
well, I know Greg Brown has a better video of it. He just hasn't posted it yet for whatever reason.
Yes.
But
You see that shift right there? Your
yeah,
elbow was right here in the back in the middle, and you push straight up forward and your elbow comes straight to the front
Right.
and then you rotate over him, yeah, I don't think he expected that. I think he expected you to low hand. See here your elbows back and watch this. See how it shifted up just a half second and
Yeah.
he tries a full cup? Yeah. I think that's what messed him up.
Well, at that
Because then
point, again, just knowing his background, if he can get that scoop or that wraparound my hand, I'm pretty much done for because at this point, I mean, strength for strength, he's probably stronger than me. But I know that
yeah.
like, okay, I gotta dominate. I'm not gonna go arm to arm with that guy. So I was trying to go, okay, his hand's a little bit smaller than mine.
Mm-hmm.
So let me attack his hand because I'm not gonna attack his arm because his arm he's stronger in that area. So why attack that? So by sliding my elbow up to the front and then take his hand that way and come down with a quick side pressure hit just to get him off center. If I get
Yeah.
him off center with his hand somewhat straight, then I got something cooking there.
Yeah. And one thing I just was going to point out too, and the whole reason this match even remotely stops is because of your body position right here. You.
Yeah.
This is what I call sitting or taking a dump on the table. This is what I like to call it too, where you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
All your body weight goes from pulling backwards to straight down,
Right.
and that's why this match stops. You allowed
Okay.
him to catch back up. If this right leg, or sorry, this would be your left leg. If your left leg was pushing straight out and all your body weight was coming at an angle underneath the table and
Right.
pushing away, you would have dragged him open and easily won. But since you went straight down, the body weight and everything goes straight down to the top of the table, which allows him to catch it with his shoulder.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want to go straight down and hold like this position because now you've basically locked it out. You're doing one of these. You're trying to push down in the table like this instead
Gotcha.
of being able to pull backwards into the table. So don't sit
Well,
down. Get that leg straight. Push back. Push away
here,
from the
I'll tell you
table.
why I was doing that. I was hoping, and I need, if you can give me some feedback on this, I was hoping that, you know, if usually I'll drop my body weight on him, so that way it's like, okay, now I got his whole body weight. That's what I was hoping for. But the thing is, though, when I drop my body and the pin wasn't trying to happen, then I'm forced to even kind of come up and readjust.
Yeah. So there's a difference between dropping body weight and putting the body weight into the elbow. So like
Okay.
right now, all the body weight is actually on your elbow. It's not in the hand area where you want it to be. To get it into the hand, you have to push from the legs out and pull backwards and fall off the table. Right now, all the body weight goes straight down into your elbow, and your elbow is actually resting, holding all the weight like this.
Gotcha.
You're like laying on this, and then this is free balling right here. So we need to stand up a little bit more and push through the hip and keep this bottom leg and butt straight to push the weight away from him, not down into the top of the table.
Okay.
Yeah. Oops. So if we go into that position again, and we just like right now, take your hand and cover the top of the screen. Don't even look at your arm or anything. Just with your hand, watch your legs. Watch only the legs and watch what your legs do. See how you just sit down?
Oh yeah.
You
Damn.
just literally go straight down and there's nothing there to hold. That's just on your elbow. So your elbow is holding all the pressure right now instead of your body. And then you can notice that as things progress, you start to stand up. You see how
Yeah.
that you're starting to shift your body weight into it now,
Right.
which you should have stayed in that position more in the beginning to give yourself more. Yeah, right there. That's a very good body position right there.
Right.
So just the little things
Oh,
there.
that is so sloppy on my end.
Yeah. And I call that sitting. You just where you sit down and all your body weight goes down into the tabletop instead of backwards.
Yeah, I tried to drive into it, and what I should have done is that I didn't apply enough side pressure to kind of push myself up to get my shoulder behind. I was
Yeah.
just kind of going, okay, I'm gonna angle that, but when it, of course, his name is, James the Brick Wall. When I hit that wall, I was like, okay, and that's when he shook his head, kind of smiled, like, no, it ain't happening. I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
then I go back to, taking his hand again.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Every time you just go straight down and stops, straight down and stops.
Right.
You hit, like that was no good. And then you're going to hit right here, straight down, stop.
Now at this
And
point, when I'm
straight down.
hitting and I stop, should I just go ahead and because I'm trying to open them up to where okay, maybe enough times taking his wrist, eventually it'll just go. That was my
Yeah.
intention through the match.
Yeah. So the the intention's good, but you're not opening him up by going straight down. You would open him up by pushing away from the table and pulling him back through the table instead of going down through the table with your weight. You want your weight to come across the table, so he's pulling you like this, like a row, rather than straight down where he's just having to hold with his shoulder again.
Gotcha.
So I bet you if we fast forward to where you win, where let's see right here. So he's just already maxed out. No, he's maxing himself out there. That was the one reason why he lost here is he opened himself up.
Right.
But you can tell every time you're holding him, like in the hold positions. Look at the leg position right here. See the leg position? That's
Yeah.
great for holding right there. Nice flat, pushing off the left leg. Your right leg's back, either behind the other pull or back away, so it's out of the way.
Right.
See, and that's why you can hold them like that. It's because all the pressures you're pulling it all back this way to you.
And that's the
And
weird because if anybody were just so positive right there, looking at that, and I'm so opened out. And here's the thing, and this is where you talked about, hey, do that workout where you keep straight. And it's
mhm.
weird because there I feel fine.
That's where your locked is. That's where your tendons built up in your elbow.
Right.
We just need to make that stronger. Stop doing as much full curls or whatever. Do it more halves, a little more
Right.
halves. Build the pressure up, and then that won't happen anymore. This
Okay.
will fix itself, and then you'll end up like this with your arm right here, at the 90, and you'll be way better off.
Right. We have some comments in here. It says Logan says when you hit like that and his hand is taken, just stay and wait it out. And you know what? I thought about that, but now the way Corey explained it, I could have just sat there and waited, but then, if I'm just sitting there, it's not going. His hand's not going anywhere, so I have to like make an adjustment. And I almost got in trouble trying to stand up and just so I can kind of reposition and go again. Almost got in trouble with that, but there was a couple of times where I stood up. He tried to, supinate, and then I would just go back and just, print it again.
Yeah, yeah. I know everyone thinks that you should stay there and hang out and wait for it to happen, but that is the one thing that usually catches people because you get burnt out. Your brachialis will get burned out from holding on to that, and they'll push through it with their shoulder.
Right,
The shoulder's definitely stronger than your brachialis, so you don't want to sit there for too long unless you have the hand bent over like this instead of out here because you're like this right now. You're just straight, palm straight across, and
right.
his palm is still able to cup your hand a little bit. But if you turned into here just a little bit and then try to hold it, yeah, sure, okay. But you never want to just sit there and wait for something to happen.
Got
That
it.
will eventually burn your arm out, especially if it's close like this match.
There's a match. Actually, I lost, and it's kind of like that. I'm trying to see if I know it was on. Let me see. But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
It was a match against Carl Gerke.
Gerke?
Yeah, it was from one of the. It wasn't a WSA qualifier.
Uh-huh.
It was-
Whoa.
Let me find it right quick, and then I can tell you where to cue it up at, and then you can kind of see it. This
I know you
happened
do
back
it.
in September.
Yeah, you do a lot of workout stuff, which is nice to watch too.
Let me get these ads going. Okay, here we go. Because this was a match I lost, and kind of the same thing. I get caught out there, and I guess you could say a King's move, but it was just like, come on, Williams, what are you doing? I was saying that to myself, like, man, what are you doing?
You don't have too many matches on here.
What's that?
I was gonna say you don't have too many arm wrestling matches.
If you just go Jody Williams arm wrestling, they'll pop up.
Yeah, I'm on your page.
Okay. They're like super matches in it. They should pop up.
Yeah, so I mean, this is exactly what we want to do for other people, but get somebody on here that needs help, needs work. Which one are we looking for?
Let's see here. I was looking for the Carl Gherkin. That's when I kind of got caught up with that sit down stuff. But I could bring up another one with me and Paul Stevens. And I thought I had the perfect, and he just kind of sucked me in and just drove me back out. Okay, here we go. This is the one I want. So if you go under World Series of Arm Wrestling, it's the Harley Davidson one where it says World Series of Arm Wrestling, like the G2F, and then go under Harley Davidson Bike Week.
This one?
Yeah. So start at the 22
Silverado EV RS.
Very loud.
26 seconds. That's where it was a match between me and Paul Stevens, super match. This is match number 3. I lost.
This one?
The one right there, Gurky. That's the one I was talking about at first.
Oh, well, let me go back to the beginning of this nonsense. All right, hold on. So I can't really see your body on this positioning, but again, the same thing's happening as before, right there with the hand. We need more pronation or something to happen in the hand, either supinating or pronate there.
Right.
But like when you stand up and hold people like this is when you're in good position, except for your hips need to be on the tabletop a little bit more.
Right.
And that's how people can't move you. But when you start to put your tricep down and you sit down on the table,
right,
yeah, that's when the back pressure goes away and they're able to stop you at the very, very bottom of the table like that.
Right.
Hey,
And
you're
every time
almost,
you touch the stir, I try
almost
to, you know,
king move esque. Ugh, that'll hurt my arm just watching that.
And this is horrible. I'm trying, but
yeah,
I'm so stretched out. My bicep ended up burning out.
Yeah, it looks like it hurts. I would never recommend it. No one ever did this. Plus, it looks like you elbow fouled like 17 times. I'm surprised that not called.
And I was cooked the rest of the tournament. So,
yeah, so I think the biggest thing with this one is that you're not pronating or you're not supinating fully into a position. You're still flat hand, and you're across the person's hand like that the whole time. You never got an actual position, and then you just got burned out on your bicep.
Right. Well, I was trying to wait that out, but that didn't work because, again, he would come with his shoulder. And just as you said, that shoulder's a lot stronger than me trying to hold him out here. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, he's using everything. You're using just your bicep at this point.
Right.
Like there, that's what put you in right there because you flattened your hand out too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is definitely not something I'd be proud of right there. We should never do this again, Jody. I don't never want to see this again.
I got you, man. But if you go back to, let's see, where are you at in this video? You can go back.
Let's see.
22, 26. That's the.
This is only this match.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you go, just go to that website or that channel, Garage to Fit.
Here we go. Which one do you want now?
Match 3, so it'd be at the 22-26 mark.
22-26-ish. Here we go.
This is match 3 of me and Paul Stevens, and I'm up 2-0, and I try to go inside with him, and then it just didn't work out. I mean, he's strong inside too, but I wasn't stretched out like I thought I normally would be. If you watch right here. So as you see, I'm not even like leaning back yet.
Yeah. I'm going to slow it down when I get closer.
Okay. Because already you can see just by me standing there, I'm standing more than I was against James Wall. Wild's more lean back,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew he was so strong in that hook. If I leaned back more and apply this up and back pressure, that would
Well,
naked.
isn't Paul a top roller, anyways?
He can do either or, but
Okay.
I'm up 2-0, so I thought let me go inside and see what happens.
So there's a lot of things wrong for going inside at this setup.
Okay.
Well, other than that, just yeah. So you never want to just let your hand go palm up in a hook like this
Okay.
without doing some type of supination. The elbow being here and your arm being straight up on top of itself like this,
Right.
that's bad too. We want to either be out on the very far corner or be in the far other corner so that we can slide into the pressure like you do with your top roll. So if
Got
we're
it.
coming here, we're coming around and coming back into it, so we come out and around and catch it out like this, and then with the bend. But you never want to just go straight up, turned under. See how your arm's turned under, the shoulders back behind it.
Yeah.
You're turned under, and you let your hand go palmed up, and the palm up is what prevented basically any pressure into a hook at all. And now you're see how far you're out on your arm and everything. Like that's just
I'm on my bicep again too.
yeah. You want to be out like this if you're in that position where you slice your elbow out and then you turn and cup in hard from that position, not with the palm up. This is the worst position to be in. Puts a lot of pressure on the bicep and a lot of elbow because you're twisted out underneath it.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pressure there. And purely moving him open just because you're stronger than him at that point. And you got into that weird lock position with your open arm you have there.
Right.
I mean, that's all you're hanging on that point. But yeah, that's I think in a better hooked position that would be easier. Oh, you didn't even shake hands or nothing?
Oh, I did like later in the man. I thought that was a jerk move on me, but because I felt it because I had the surge, but it's almost like my body went and then my hand followed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like going, it should come with it. Like if I lock everything in, Latin all, I should be coming this way, not that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're trying too much to set up like you top roll and then trying to hook it, which in the way you position your body is not proper for getting into a hook with power.
Here's match 4, and I lose this one too. Please break that one down.
Yeah. Speed it back up for a second. Let's go.
In this one, I think he just flashed me on this one. I didn't have time to drag, if I'm not mistaken.
Elbows in the back corner again, right here. So you're in the back corner.
Right.
You're setting up like you're gonna top roll because you're doing your whole dipped in thing, trying to do that, and you're probably gonna not do a supination or anything. You're probably gonna let your palm go up for a second. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you're see how you're leaning down too much on that.
Right.
Yeah, that's more like what your top rolls feels like. And you're too far open here, way too far open.
I gotta cut that out.
Yeah, see, there was no bend in the wrist. No, it was just straight sideways.
Yeah,
like you're barely even holding on. The hook is solely dependent on that supination and coming into the bicep. You want to come up and supinate into the bicep hard, not just pull back.
See? There's the handshake.
Yeah, there you go.
So now we're at this point. It's the best of 5, and now it's 2-2.
So this one you tried to tuck a little bit more, but it looks like you're a little bit flatter on this one. Did you go back to top rolling here, or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're already setting up for it. I can see how you can see you're palming it hard, trying to do your whole push thing like I like you to do.
Right.
Yep, and see how you whipped out? You do your whole whip out thing. You caught him pushing your palm.
Right.
Caught him right here pushing your palm. You're coming out towards his face right now.
Yeah.
and then you bust his hand over.
And that's, like, again, if I feel like, okay, if I'm burnt out, like I say, this is where I give up side to gain,
Yeah.
a pronation move.
Yeah, the only thing I see here is this arm is being bent, and you're already dropped too soon. Your
Right.
shoulders are down under the table a little bit too soon. But that again. Look at that position. You stop. You're laying on your arm. See that whole
Right.
laying on your tricep thing? That
Right.
is the only reason people stop you. 100%
Huh.
the only reason that people stop you is you lay on your arm right here. Watch this. Oh, whoops. Dang it. I hate the playback on this YouTube nonsense. Let's see here. Okay, let me go back to it. Okay, again, watch the boom, and he's going to stop you the second you drop onto your tricep. See that? The
Yeah.
same thing every single time. This drop right there, you stop that and you stand up more, dude, you'll just go right to the pad. I mean, literally just right to the pad. That's the only reason he even gets to do that whole motion right there.
Right. Oh, that is
But yeah.
so terrible on my part. That is horrible.
But no, that's good. That's good. That's what we wanted to do.
No, I mean, I'm glad we did it. It's just, now I think about it, because I never thought about that. Like, I saw it as like, hey, let me go ahead. If I drop my weight, he's going to have to hold my body weight, which in turns, not really, because if he's stopping it, then why is he stopping it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because you're laying on the tricep,
Right.
and all the pressure comes onto here rather than going backwards through your arm.
Right. Okay.
So,
Man.
yeah. Well, it was good for a first one. I mean, like I said before, if there's anyone who wants to be the first go around, I'd like to have all your stuff beforehand,
Yeah.
so we can queue it up and all that. Just email me, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll do basically the same things, but a little bit more in depth. Maybe do some training stuff if you have training videos, or talk about what you should do differently for training.
Yeah.
But that's a small, broad overview of what we're planning on doing.
Yeah, I figured I'll be the first. I'll be the guinea pig and all this to kind of sit there and go, okay, here's some matches that I thought I did good. Here's some that like just super ugly. And then I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Where you're taking a dump, basically. You're just kind of sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay,
What's funny is you're gonna go back after we're off here. You're gonna go back and watch all your videos now, and you're gonna notice how many times you do that. And
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
do
notice,
that because I never saw it and I never had anybody explain it to me like that.
yeah,
But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna
you,
message you back and go, my word.
you're gonna watch every single time that happens. You stop and then you don't pin the guy right away
Right,
because you lose all the pressure. It just goes down and stops.
right.
So
I noticed that
it's
doing
gonna
that
be
in
good.
practice a few times too, and it's like, okay, I gotta quit. And I'm again out here. I need to be here, not so much there.
Yeah.
And that's
Inside the
where,
arm.
and
Yeah.
that could be workouts too. That could be like, okay, are you not, engaging your lat when you do this? Are you not? I mean, do you need to make your lat stronger? Do you need to start, doing a lot
What
more
I
pull-ups, whatever?
what I would suggest for you is to pull when you're practicing pulling with people.
Mm-hmm.
Pull without a pad and float your elbow the whole time,
Pull
because
without
that
an
will
elbow pad.
yes, because what that's going to make you do is make you stand up because there's nothing to put your arm on. I don't want you to put it on the table at all. I want you to float in the air, and I want you to
Okay.
beat them without the elbow pad, because that will force you to stand up and use your back and everything to hold yourself up, rather than laying down on your arm like this on the pad and then trying to do this whole nonsense.
Gotcha.
So practice without the pad, and you'll notice that it forces you to pull all the way through and beat them with your back and side and everything else.
Right.
But
Anything else? I mean, besides not using the elbow pad, just to kind of keep me engaged?
I think your workouts need to probably change slightly.
Hmm.
Change it to where you're doing stuff where it's at that 90. Don't letting it go open. Isometric kind of stuff,
Right.
Um, that will definitely help a lot. Uh, all your lifts, if they start to open your arm up, they're probably too heavy.
Okay.
Um, but work on trying to control a row, trying to control hammer curls where you're starting maybe at the 90 or a little bit past, but not in that position. We need to
Gotcha.
build this up. So focus on that. Everything else wise, um, when you're moving your arm, it should always be pronating or always supinating. I'm noticing a lot of times when your arm's moving, your hand just stays flat and it just maybe goes in palm here, but it doesn't ever twist and it doesn't ever cup at all.
Right.
Um, the biggest thing like I like to do a lot is over pronate. I like to over pronate harder. So even though I don't cup hard, I still keep pressure there, but I over pronate harder. So
So,
you
I'm glad you brought that up because I've noticed in practice and sometimes in matches when I overpronate, then all of a sudden I'm here. Now all of a sudden my opponent can climb and
yeah.
then do this.
Yep, and that's where when you're pronating, when you're coming out and you're over pronating here, remember you got to push down through the elbow this way too. That's that whole pulling your body back. I
Right.
bet when that happens and you're like this, I bet you're sitting on your tricep.
Oh,
That
shit. Yeah, I am actually.
yeah,
So
I
instead
bet
of going here because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, oh, okay, here rather
yeah,
than, there.
yes, exactly.
Here
Yep,
rather than there, where I'm
yep,
kind of just here's
yeah.
I'm just doing that.
And they'll climb up over the top of your hand and grab the top of your hand. You'll be screwed. You can't
Yeah,
do
and then
anything.
they torque me down. Then now I'm like fighting like this and this old,
Yep.
like a sloth and just, with the fingers down and I'm just doing that stupid stuff. And,
Yeah, try doing that without the pad and watch what happens. You'll your
I will
hand
have,
you won't even be able to do it. It won't happen. It won't let you go into that spot.
right. Okay.
So
Man, I love this. This is what we need. Hey, everybody still watching. This is why we're doing this. You learned something. I know I did. I thought I was doing good, which I am, but I knew there were some flaws. It's just I got to find out where those flaws are. This is why Corey breaks everything down. Says, hey, maybe it's your workouts. Hey, maybe it's your stance. Maybe it's the way on the go you're moving, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah,
yep,
stop trying to hook people when you're set up for a top row body wise. Stuff like that.
exactly. Yep. So yeah, if you're in the chat or know somebody or whatever else, let me know and Jody, and we'll get you on the show and we'll go break it down even further. I'm gonna move all my stuff downstairs, so I'll have my table and everything next time because I like to sometimes show on the table more in depth.
Yes.
Uh, and I like to bring over people sometimes. I got a couple guys in town that can come over and demonstrate different things. So yeah, that's what we'll do next time.
I may have to make a trip over to your crib one of these days and go, okay, man, I'm here for a training session. What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah. Come on. Hey, you're more than welcome.
Just to kind of, because now, yeah, I got some things going on, but they won't hit to like, almost mid 2024. So I got some free time in between now and then. I'm thinking, all right. And I know you said Colorado State's win
Typically,
October.
Colorado State is September October timeframe.
Okay.
Considering they moved Worlds this year to the end of October, that might change some things around.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, Colorado's usually September. I know Frank's been chomping at the bit to get some of that left arm. So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I don't think he's ready, but he sure feels like he's ready.
I think because at the 64, the first ever one
Yeah.
in Loveland, we did some after pull. I'm like, okay, cool. It's after pull, whatever. And I think he took that as, oh, I got him. I'm like, well, yeah, but there's no referee to straighten this out, But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if he wants to go there, we can do that. We can set some stuff up. But yeah, left hand, okay. If he's ready, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I plan on trying to bring in some extra stuff at Colorado State this year. I thought about even doing a 64 down there at that venue because it's big enough.
Yeah.
Maybe on that Friday night or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado State, one of the biggest events of the year too. Tim and everyone else helps me out. If not, then we could look at Wyoming. Wyoming's in July every year.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get you down for that one or something. But yeah, no, we got May Super 64 76 class in May in San Antonio. And 54s is going to be in Missouri in June.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think
Yeah.
you're making 220s, right?
I think them days was over. And
yeah.
besides, my right hand is like thrashed now. Like I had to take 2 cortisone shots just to compete at the first Aries.
Oh, jeez. Well,
And so
you'd be ready for 220s, then.
the doctor said, "Hey, man, it's messed me up because now the doctor said at the time, he goes, you keep doing this, it's going to weaken your tendons over time, and so it hasn't really
Yeah.
been the same ever since."
Yeah,
You know, so,
I'll never do cortisone just because of that reason.
well,
But
I can't like untake it now. So I mean, that's pretty much where. That's why I'm always like a one arm puller now because I don't really do a lot with the right anymore. So that's pretty much where I'm at. But yeah, it works out because starting April, because every 4 months we rotate shifts. So right now days and my weekends are Tuesday, Wednesday. But come April, it'll benefit because then I'll be swing shift and double back. So what that means is that 3 days swing shift, 2 days graveyard. So what'll happen is that between April and July, my weekends are Friday, Saturday, and I go back to work Sunday, but I don't go back till Sunday night at 10 at night. So
well, if we can fly you into Colorado and get you out to my house for a training or something. I mean, Denver's super cheap to fly to, so
yeah. So I mean, something like that. And my wife and I've been talking about, hey, maybe you should use some of this time to start training with people and that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm going to let me do that because I want to get better. I got these falls I got to fix. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Plus, it's always good to see Wyoming for the first time. It's basically nothing where I live, but then you get the mountains and all that stuff. So
I love
Yellowstone.
The mountains. I mean, they won't be snow capped by then, but I love the mountains.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. We'll definitely get to it next time. And like I said, if anyone's interested, please contact me. As soon as I get an able body, we'll try to do it again, maybe on a Friday or Saturday again.
Yeah,
whenever Jody's available.
Yep. Reach out to Corey, reach out to myself, and then Corey and I will congregate and we'll get something hooked up, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, everyone.